Oh, here she comes on through the two-rated right. He's got plenty against the rope. There's a little light landing on the champion's jaw.
Just a moment ago, when Kathy, helping her mother house clean the kitchen, upset a bucket of water rather than face Steve Skidmore coming up the road.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Raven Radio Theater of the Air and our exciting radio adventure, The Black Knight. Today's play was written by Joe McHugh and is brought to you by Lisbon Regional School. Our tale begins on a Saturday afternoon. Bobby and Melissa's parents are out of town and they're spending the weekend with their grandparents. Out in the workshop behind the house, the children are helping their grandpa with a little woodworking project.
I'll use this last piece of redwood cut to size, and you two can do the sanding.
What are you making, Grandpa?
A bird feeder, Bobby. Maybe you two would like to take it home and hang it on your back porch. You can fill it with cedar, old pieces of bread, and the birds will come from all over. Here, take the sandpaper and start sanding the edges.
Grandpa, can I talk to you about something?
Of course you can, Melissa. What's on your mind?
It's my best friend. Her name is Shelly. She's having trouble at home. I think her parents are getting a divorce or something.
Well, that kind of thing can be tough on a kid.
Yeah, it's like she doesn't care about school or her friends anymore. She just mopes around all the time and wants everyone to leave her alone.
Why not get another best friend?
I swear, Bobby, you're a real moron. I'm not going to abandon her because she's having a hard time. I just don't know how to make things better.
You know, Melissa, trouble comes to everyone, sometime or other. It's part of being alive. What really matters is how you handle it.
What do you mean, Grandpa?
See, trouble gets the better of some people. They try to run away from it. They think they can hide someplace where I can't find them. Then there are other folks who always look for someone else to blame for their troubles. But now, you take Jack. There was a boy who knew how to stand up to trouble and get something useful out of it.
Who's Jack, Grandpa?
Jack, you know, the king's son who had a bad leg. I told you about him about the time he had to go off with the Black Knight.
You never told us that story, Grandpa.
I didn't? Well, you know what they say. When your memory goes, you might as well forget it.
I'd like to hear that story, Grandpa. Can you tell it to us now?
I guess I could. Just don't stop standing while I tell you. Now, it happened a long, long time ago, as these things usually do. There was this king, and he had 3 sons. He'd once been a famous knight, but now his hair was white like mine, and he had not gone to war for many years. Then, one day, a strange knight from a foreign land arrived in his kingdom. He was dressed in all black armor, and he rode a black horse. The visor of his helmet looked like a large raven's beak. There was a plume of black feathers sticking out of the top. He came from the west, galloping across the wooden drawbridge and clattering over the cobblestone under the great arched gate. Reaching the inner courtyard, he reined his horse and blew 2 long blasts on his battle horn.
Hear ye! I am the Black Knight. In all the world there is none with more courage or skill than I. I hereby challenge any knight of this realm to mortal combat to prove my claim.
Did you hear that? Such arrogance. Who does he think he is to come in here and insult our brave knights?
We've many that can handle the likes of him. Here come some of our knights now. They'll teach this upstart a lesson he'll never forget.
I am Guilford the Gallant, captain of the palace guard. I know you not, strange knight, but I will match lance and sword against you at sunrise tomorrow in yonder far meadow.
And should my friend falter, then you will deal with me, Manuel of the speckled cape. Well, let me warn you, I am fierce and will show no mercy.
I need none of your mercy or empty threats. Tomorrow will show who will be the real champion.
And with that, the Black Knight wheeled about on his powerful charger and galloped from the castle. But, sad to say, the king's brave warriors were no match for the strange knight. One after another, they were defeated. Even the visiting Saracen, Sim the Terrible, lost his life to the sharp, deadly weapons of the Black Knight, and none could fail to subdue him. Never had there been such a night, except perhaps for the old king himself in the glories of days gone by.
What happened then, Grandpa?
Well, the king feared that sooner or later all of his knights would be slaughtered. Perhaps even his own sons would ride against the Black Knight and be killed. He could not let that happen. But as king, he was forbidden by law to risk his own life in personal combat. So early one day, unbeknownst to anyone, the king dressed and armed himself as an ordinary knight. He wore no insignia of the royal household and left behind the 3 magic weapons which had been given to him by the great wizard Nilrim: the lance that could not be broken, the sword that could not be dulled, and the shield that could not be pierced.
But why did he leave his magic weapons behind if he was going out to fight?
Because, Melissa, the 3 weapons hung on the wall above the fireplace in the great hall.
And if they were suddenly missing, then everyone would know that the king had ridden off to fight the Black Knight.
Exactly. And what a fight they had of it, too. First on horseback with long lances, the 2 men charged each other like enraged dragons spewing fire. The shields rang from the impact, the shafts of the wooden lances snapping like tree limbs in the storm. Again and again they charged. But in time, the king's horse proved the weaker beast. Pushed beyond his strength, the poor animal at last fell from exhaustion, throwing his rider. The Black Knight then dismounted and, with sword in hand, resumed the fierce battle with the unhorsed king. And it was some contest, I can tell you. Both men were stalwart warriors who used all their might and cunning to vanquish each other.
I have fought many knights from many lands, but never have faced one as strong and relentless as you.
And I can only wonder if you be a man or a devil, but whomever, whatever you are, I shall defeat you.
It was the greatest battle between 2 evenly matched knights as there ever was. They fought throughout the day until the sun began to dip behind the western hills. But in the end, the old king's strength began to fail him. The end of his sword had broken off, and his shield was dented and split in many places. Encased in his heavy suit of armor, he began to stagger backwards as the endless sword blows fell on him without mercy. The thoughts of the harried king now turned from victory to survival. But then, casting his sword aside, the Black Knight took up his heavy mace and delivered it with such a blow that the king's shield was clove in 2, and he was driven to the ground.
Brave knight, I yield you. Kill me if you must, but I can fight no more.
And should I spare your life, what do you give me in ransom?
I am not a lowly knight, as I appear, sir, but king of this great realm. I will pay any price you shall name.
Then hear me, worthy king. You have 3 grown sons. Bind them to my service to perform a perilous task that I shall name. Only this will I take in ransom for your life.
The old king agreed, but it grieved him sorely. He feared he would never see his beloved sons again. There was Thomas. He was the oldest, tall and fair, like his father, a valiant fighter. William was the middle son. He too was brave and strong, with always an eye for a pretty maid. And then there was Jack, the youngest, born with one leg shorter than the other, the boy that walked with a limp. He wasn't strong and athletic like his older brothers, where they delighted in hunting and the clash of arms. Jack sought out the poets and tellers of old tales, but what he lacked in valor, young Jack made up for wisdom and generosity of spirit. Thus, early the next morning, before the mist lifted from the low fields, the 3 boys rode away with the Black Knight. They traveled many days until they came upon a dark, ancient forest. The very sight of the place filled the boys with dread. The Black Knight then spoke to them.
Our journey together has come to an end. Somewhere in yon loathsome wood is my daughter. She wandered into it one day and has never returned. Her mother and I miss her very much. Your quest is to go into these woods and find her. If you do, I will release you from my service and reward you richly. But I must warn you, many brave knights have I sent into these fellow woods to search for her. None has ever returned. But perhaps because you are royal blood, you will succeed, where others have failed. You are my daughter's last hope. What do you say, Thomas?
I am the oldest, and I have the greatest courage. I will not fail in the quest.
I too, William the Brave, fear nothing in these dark woods. I shall find your daughter.
And what say you, Jack?
Sir, I'm sorry for your loss. I fear I'm not as brave as my brothers. There's something about this evil force which chills my heart, but I shall not turn back. With God's help, shall do my part to find your daughter.
Then go in peace. My castle is but a day's ride to the north from here. Should you find my daughter, bring her to us there.
And so the three brothers began their quest. A dim, barely visible track led into the woods, but they had to go on foot, for no matter how they coaxed or threatened their horses, the terrified animals would not enter the strange forest. You've got to keep up, little brother, bad luck or not.
Why did you have to come along anyhow? Tom has his sword and I have my stout bow. You have only a small knife and a slingshot. Some help you'll be if we run into trouble.
I keep my eyes and ears open, Brother Will. You never know what part I might play.
To get in the way, I'll wager, but we're stuck with you and more's the pity.
And they went deeper and deeper into the woods, speaking little and hoping to find some sign of the missing girl.
The woods grow darker. It feels like the trees are watching us and will do us harm.
There are no birds here as there should be. The air is still and full of menace. Thomas, what shall we do?
My legs are tired and I am hungry. We will camp here for the night. Pushed back the growing darkness, the king's sons soon had a campfire burning. They unpacked their food and pewter plates, prepared their evening meal. Be careful with your food and don't eat too much. We don't know how long we'll have to wander about these woods. It's getting cold, Jake. Put some more wood on the fire.
Brothers, do you think we'll ever find the Black Knight's daughter?
I wouldn't bet a sow's ear on it, Jack. She's in a wolf's belly or has fallen into a lake and drowned. But we're bound to the Black Tyrant, so we've got to search for her. A big waste of time if you ask me.
I agree with that.
Oh, the young girl can still be saved, if ye be brave and clever enough.
Who said that? Who's there?
It came from the shadows under the trees.
Come out and show yourself, or we'll come find you and cut off your head.
Cut off my head, will you? That's no way for a noble knight to greet a stranger. No, no way at all. As you can see, I'm just a poor old lady who has come to your fire to beg a bite of food. Do not send me away empty-handed and hungry.
We have little food enough for ourselves, old hag, and can spare none for you.
Brother Thomas, look at the hideous old thing. Her hair is like a rat's nest, and her teeth are as black as coal. She could be a witch who will murder us in her sleep. Old hag, is it? A witch, you say? And you, young one, who do you say I am?
Just a hungry old woman as you appear. Here, take this. I have some food to spare.
Thank you, my kind friend. Because of you, I will give you all some good advice, for I know these woods. Oh yes, I know them quite well, but I must eat first.
She eats like an animal, William. It's disgusting.
Here, grandmother, have something to drink from my water skin.
There, much better. Now I must be on my way, but first advice I promised. The girl you seek can be found at the castle of the three giants. They captured the poor thing and will not let her go.
But where is this castle to be found?
It is far to the castle in the very heart of the forest, across a deep river. But these woods are sinister and unpredictable. Others have lost their way and have never been heard of again.
But you must guide us to the castle, old woman.
No, I am not a fool. I will not go near the place.
But I will see you this. I will pay you with the sack of gold coins. Here, take them. I'll wager you. You've not seen this much gold before.
Your money means nothing to me here, stupid man. This is a journey you must make on your own. Keep your hearts true and you will find what you seek. But let me warn you, do not, for any reason, eat or drink anything you find in these woods. For if you do, you will fail in your quest. Remember this, eat and drink nothing. There are many unexpected dangers here. Trust your wits.
I will trust my long sword when danger comes.
And I will trust the sharp arrow Scott with skill.
Thank you, old one, for your advice. I will not forget it.
Maybe the runt of the litter has got all the brains after all. Here, take this old cloak as a gift, Jack, in return for your generosity.
In truth, this garment is passing strange.
Tuck it away in your pack and wear it whenever you wish to go unseen. It will hide you better than the darkest night. Now I must hurry along. Farewell and good luck.
Many thanks, old woman, and God's blessings go with you.
And should you get lost, Jack, just remember to look within.
Was the old woman really a witch, Grandpa?
Hard to say, Melissa. What do you think, Bobby?
I think she knew a thing or two. What happened next?
Well, the three brothers went to sleep, and in the morning they continued their journey. After a while, they came to a clearing where the road forked in three directions. Not knowing which led to the giant's castle, they decided to separate and take each different roads. Now, it wasn't long until Thomas, who'd taken the right-hand road, came to an orchard. A powerful, bewitching aroma filled the air, and Thomas suddenly became very hungry. Looking up at the ripe fruit hanging from the trees, his mouth began to water. Suddenly, the old tree nearest him began to speak.
You have traveled far, brave knight. You need your rest and nourishment. Come, sit under my branches.
Why, even the trees speak to me in this strange wood?
You are not afraid, are you? Here, taste some of my sweet fruit.
I am afraid of nothing, but the old woman told us not to eat anything found in the woods, or we'd fail in our purpose.
And what is your purpose anyhow but fool's errand? Everyone knows there's no such thing as giants. They only live in fairy tales told to scare little children.
And the Black Knight's daughter? What became of her? Is she dead?
Alas, so it would seem. But you are a bold knight, the son of a king. Don't let a crazy old woman tell you what to do. Here, I'll drop a fruit. Take only a bite. No harm in that.
Yes, I am a prince and can do as I please. Surely one small bite will not hurt me. After all, I am very hungry. The fruit was wonderful. Thomas had never tasted anything so delicious. His senses reeled, and he soon forgot about the missing girl and the giant's castle. He took a second bite. And then a third. But with each bite, he only grew hungrier and hungrier. He thought he could eat a whole forest of such luscious fruit. But then, suddenly, and without warning, the fruit turned bitter in his mouth. It began to sting. A great weariness stole over him, and he began to stagger as his legs lost all their strength. Desperately slashing at the tree with his sword, Thomas fought to stay awake. What is happening to me? The tree, you have cast a spell over me. Roots reach up from the ground to grab my legs. I am falling! And so it was that Thomas fell to the ground, his sword dropping from his limp hand, where he lay in a deep, dreamless sleep, from which he would never again awake. As for William, I'm sorry to say, he fared no better. After traveling down the middle road for some leagues, he came to a spring. The lilting sound of the water as it bubbled out of the rock next to the path drew him ever closer until he too suddenly heard a voice.
Come, my handsome warrior. I am here in the water. Draw near and look at me.
A voice calls to me from the spring. What devilment is this?
Come to me, my brave friend. Let my waters relieve your dry, cracked lips, and then we can be together.
But the old crone warned me that if I drank anything in the woods, I would not complete the quest. You're not real.
Can you not see me with your own eyes? Do I not please you? Leave the quest to the others. I'm lonely here. Stay with me just a little while.
Yes, why would I risk my life on this quest? My brother Thomas is the oldest. It is his job to fight the giants. He doesn't need my help. My mouth is so parched, I'll just take a small mouthful.
So William, on his knees, dipped cupped hands into the cold water and began to drink. The water danced upon his tongue and filled his mind with visions of faraway places and beautiful ladies. But the more he drank, the more thirsty he became. He could not stop himself. Then the taste of the water began to sour and choke him. Try as he might, he could not get up. His head began to swim. Then, like his poor brother Thomas, William collapsed in a swoon and was lost to the world.
That's terrible, Grandpa. What happened to Jack?
He didn't eat or drink anything in the woods, did he?
No, Melissa, he didn't. He also passed an orchard full of ripe fruit, which called to him with clever words, and a spring whose enchanted voice promised him many delights. But Jack had taken the old woman's warning to heart. He kept true to the quest and did not stop. He endured his hunger and thirst without complaint, remembering the legends he had heard of the ancient heroes. He found the strength to go on. But even though Jack had made the wise choice, his journey became ever more difficult. The trees grew thicker around him, their trunks and branches were more twisted and gnarled. Long clinging vines, like huge spider legs, hung down and brushed against his face as he walked under them. He felt completely alone in the dark, a tortured place long forgotten by the seasons. At last, the track the young prince followed disappeared altogether among the trees. How could he find anything, even a large castle in such impenetrable gloom?
Which way should I go now? My mind is full of darkness and confusion. What did the old woman say? If I get lost, I should look within. But what did she mean? Look within for what?
For the magic rack, it's inside each of us, only many people never look for it.
Jack looked up when he heard the unexpected voice and was surprised to see a little pony standing nearby. She was covered all over with long, shaggy gray hair that nearly touched the ground. Now, I don't know if the old woman had sent the pony. The story doesn't say, but the little animal knew all about Jack and where he's trying to go and why.
Look, Jack, the castle of the three giants. It's a dreadful and evil place. It's certain death to go there. You should turn back and let your brothers rescue the girl.
Maybe I should, but I've given my word, and try I must. Will you help guide me to the castle?
Yes, if you are determined, but first you must promise to do whatever I tell you. Both of our lives will depend on it.
I promise.
So Jack climbed up on the little pony's back and they set off through the woods. The little pony was sturdy and sure-footed. It was a relief to Jack's tired legs to sit on her back as they wove their way among the trees. For some time they rode on in silence, but then, with little warning, a fierce storm broke upon them. The wind tore through the trees and howled like a banshee. The heavy rain pelted them until they were nearly blinded. Never had Jack known such a storm. It was as if the world were coming to an end, and the fear of it froze Jack to his marrow bones.
Little pony, this tempest is sent by demons that block the way. Bolts of lightning strike so near, I fear we will be burned to cinders. Will it never end?
It's not demons, Jack, but the force which seeks to destroy us. I hear its voice in the wind. It says your brothers are lost and now seeks to take your life. What shall we do?
Even if my brothers are lost, I will not turn back. But you, brave pony, you must save yourself.
I will not abandon you, young master. We will make it together or not at all.
The little gray pony struggled on with all her might in the teeth of the storm, as Jack, drenched but determined, clung to her back. Then, as quickly as it started, the storm suddenly died away and was all quiet again. Jack and the pony rode on further. After a while, the trees gave way, and they came to the bank of a roaring river. On the other side, they could see the dark towers of a giant's castle rising above the treetops.
My goal is not far now, but this last barrier is the cruelest of all. I do not know how to swim, and I've been afraid of water all my life. How shall I get across?
I will carry you, master.
But the current is swift and will pull us both under.
Either we try or we must turn back. There is no other choice.
Then we must risk it. Oh, pony, the river wants to swallow us. I can feel its icy fingers grabbing at my legs.
Fear not, Jack. A steady heart can overcome the greatest dangers.
Without you, my friend, I would be lost.
And the stout-hearted little pony was right. Buffeted by the churning water and fearful of being swept away at any moment, they at last gained the far shore in safety. From there, they made their way until the walls of the giant castle loomed above them. Once the castle had been fair to look upon, but now as ugly as a place could be found in the darkest dream. Ancient stone towers bracketed the front gate, which, although open, was guarded by two enormous creatures unlike anything Jack had ever seen. Each had a head and sharp teeth of a hungry wolf, but the body of a huge bear. Their eyes, strangely though, appeared cold and lifeless, as indifferent as stones.
The guardians of the castles are blind, Jack, but this fact helps us a little. They see with their ears and can hear the flicks of butterflies' wings or the melting of snowflake. Nothing gets past them unnoticed. But I must try, or all has been for naught. There is one way. You can tame the fell beast with music. But how can I? I have no instrument with me. Then there remains the one thing to do. You must take your knife, Jack, and kill me. Then, after I am dead, take one of my rib bones and make from it a heart. Use the hair from my tail for the strings and my teeth for the tuning pegs. With such an instrument, you can kill these fierce creatures and pass safely with it. But this cannot do. You've been my friend and saved my life. I will risk a quick dash past the guardians. Who knows? I might get lucky. Remember your promise to obey me, Jack? From the start, I have known that you must kill me to complete your quest. There is no other way. You have come too far to turn back now. If you do not kill me, kind friend, both of us will surely die. You must trust me.
Did Jack really kill the pony, Grandpa?
But the pony had saved his life.
Well, Jack didn't want to, Melissa, but he was bound by his promise. Even though his heart felt as if it would break into 1,000 pieces, the pony told him that the giants appeared to be away from the castle, and that the Black Knight's daughter could be found in the dungeon. If Jack hurried, he might get her away without having to face them.
But mark this well, on the mantle of the fireplace you'll find a leather bottle and a gold ring. Take these with you as you leave.
And what shall I do with them?
You must pour the contents of the bottle on my reins. Do not forget to do this.
And so with these last words, Jack took his small knife and killed the pony. With tears in his eyes, he skinned the dead animal and made a heart from a rib bone. Then, carrying the magic harp, he approached the guardians of the gate. And at the sound of his step, they began to growl. And the pony was right. Tamed by the power of music, Jack was able to pass so close to the beast that he could smell the foul stench of their breaths as they lay heads on paws, but they did not harm. Once inside the castle, Jack quickly forgot about the guardians and set his mind to his task. He found a set of stone stairs leading down to the dungeon.
Such gloom and coldness. It makes my hair stand on end. Where might a missing girl be found in this maze of endless stairways and empty rooms? Wait, what's that? I hear something. It comes from down this corridor.
Jack entered a large chamber lit with torches mounted along the walls. Seated at the far end, next to a gold spinning wheel, was a beautiful girl. All around her were the mounds of gold thread she had spun. She looked up and was startled to see Jack.
Who are you? Where did you come from?
My name is Jack, and your father sent me to find you.
You are very brave to come to this horrid place, but there is nothing you can do to save me. Look, I am chained to this stone pillar.
Then tell me where I might find the keys to unlock them.
The father giant keeps the keys tied to his belt. They are always with him, even when he sleeps.
Then I'll find a way to steal them. Listen, what is that?
It's the giants. It's the giants. They are coming back from hunting and will come to check on my work. You must hide yourself.
But where? There's no place to hide.
Hurry, if they find you here, they will tear you into pieces.
Then Jack remembered the cloak of darkness the old woman had given him. Pulling it out of his pack, he flung it over his shoulders just as 3 giants entered the chamber. The giants were hideous to look at, and so large they could barely stoop under the doorway. The father giant was the biggest of the 3, with legs like huge oak trees and the belt buckle the size of a wagon. The mother giant was the ugliest, with bulging, bloodshot eyes, black warts on her nose the size of frying pans, and teeth like broken fence slats. But it was the son giant that had frightened Jack the most, with a long whip dangling from his enormous hand. He was the meanest thing Jack had ever seen.
Have you been a good little girl and done your work while we were away?
I thought I heard you talking to someone. Out with him. Where is he hiding?
There's no one here, mistress. I was just singing a song to myself.
Singing, are you? A foolish waste of time and not allowed any more of that sort of thing, and you'll feel the sting of my whip on your back.
Leave the girl alone. If you ruin her, we'll get no work out of her.
I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat.
Oh, get back to work, you, and no more singing.
Well, Jack needed a plan if he was going to save the girl, and he thought one up pretty quick, too. He remembered that he had a slingshot and a leather pouch full of round, smooth stones. He decided to wait until it got late, and the giants had gone to bed. Young Jack slipped up the stairs and found their bedroom. Their snoring made an awful racket, and the mother giant snored the loudest of all. Jack still had on his cloak of darkness as he took out the stone and sent it flying with a slingshot.
Ow! Who struck me on the head and woke me up?
Go back to sleep, you old fool. It's just a dream.
Don't think you can get away with that, wife. I'm up to your tricks.
You just shut up and let me sleep.
Don't talk to your mother that way, you ungrateful pig!
Soon the commotion died down, and with a grumble here and there, the giants went back to sleep. Jack waited a little while and took careful aim at the mother giant.
What? Hit me while I'm asleep, will you? Well, take that, why don't you?
What you hit me for?
You know darn well, you big ox. It was a bit of your own medicine, I call it.
Well, I guess you figured out what Jack was up to. The next one to feel the sting of the slingshot was the mean sun giant, beating him right between the eyes. Of course, he never saw who'd done it because Jack was wearing that cloak of darkness. So he grabbed up one of his bed slats and hit each of his parents over the head with it. Well, I can tell you, the room exploded in a fury of punches, kicks, and curses that made a ruckus worse than 20 mules fighting.
This'll show you!
Just let me get my hands on you.
Hit me, will you?
Jack didn't have to do a thing. Jack had to kill all the fun. And I got so carried away, they picked up weapons and went after each other with them. The father giant picked up a sword, and the mother hit the frying pan, and the son grabbed his whip.
When the dust had settled, there were 3 dead giants all in a heap. They'd done the job themselves, which saved Jack a lot of work. Jack cut the cheese from the father giant's belt and went to free the girl.
Jack, I heard a terrible row. I thought the giants had killed you.
Not me, but the giants won't be causing any more trouble. See? I got the keys. Now let's get out of here.
So Jack unlocked the chain that held the girl, and they both ran up the dungeon steps to freedom.
He didn't forget the leather bottle and ring, did he?
Oh no, that was the most important thing, as you'll soon see.
Why are we stopping here? Did you... Oh, what are we stopping here for? Did you know this poor dead creature?
Yes, this pony was my friend. Without her, I would not have survived the storm or crossed the river to free you.
What are we doing with this bottle?
She told me to pour it over her remains.
A marvelous thing happened. A woman full of life jumped up laughing from the ground. She was dressed in a suit of gray and green with golden hair that hung to her waist. It was quite a change.
Well done, Jack. You have rescued the girl and me too.
But who are you?
Why, I am the Lady of the Woods. A long time ago, the giants came, and with a magic spell, they stole my castle and changed me into a shaggy pony that was your friend. Now, thanks to you, the giants are dead and the spell is broken. Look around and see the new woods anew.
Jack turned around and saw the ugly castle had been transformed in an instant into a place of beauty and majesty. The birds had all returned with their gay songs. The vines had fallen from the trees, and an array of colorful flowers now blanketed the forest floor. Jack and the girl were delighted.
Did you also get the ring?
I did. Here it is.
Then put it on. It is a wishing ring that once belonged to my grandmother. It will grant you 3 wishes.
So Jack put the ring on his finger and made 3 wishes.
What were they, Grandpa?
Well, the truth is, that's the part of the story I can't remember.
I bet he wished for a big bird to carry him and the girl home on.
Maybe he wished to have his leg fixed.
Well, I do know that Jack wound up marrying the Black Knight's daughter. And when his father died, Jack became the new king. And he made a good king, too, from what I hear. Now, I think it's time we nailed this feeder together, don't you? And it's getting late, and you both need a bath before going to bed.
But what about Jack's brothers? Did they ever wake up?
I don't know, Bobby. The story doesn't say.
They shouldn't have listened to those voices and turned away from the quest like they did. Maybe Jack used one of his wishes to wake them up.
Maybe he did, Melissa.
Thanks for the story, Grandpa. I liked it.
Me too.
My pleasure. Now go up to the house and I'll be along soon to kiss you goodnight.
And that concludes our radio adventure, The Black Knight, written by Joe McHugh and brought to you by Lisbon Regional School. Today's radio play starred
Riley is the old woman.
Zoe as the second castle woman and the girl.
Ava as the Black Knight, the seductive stream, and the Father Giant.
Haley as William. Emma as Jack. Molly as the pony.
Ellie as the tree.
Trenton as Grandpa.
Josie as Mother Giant.
Lucas as Bobby and the wolf bear.
Augusta as Melissa.
Cole as Thomas and Manuel.
Evan as sound effects crew.
Kern William Smith as King and Sun Giant.
Nathaniel as sound effects crew. Tyler as sound effects crew.
Bryce as sound effects crew.
Austin as sound effects crew.
Keegan as sound effects crew.
Madeline as sound effects crew.
Deacon as sound effects crew.
and Jeffrey, who had played Father Giant.